Here's a perfect example that I saw, okay? Let's bring this down to the state level. And a reminder, this is a super chat and the GoFundMe link is in the description. Look at what Andrew Gillum in Florida is doing now. This was sent to me, okay? In addition to pivoting now away from talking about Medicare for all, now talking about affordable health care, in addition to now having a scheduled fundraiser with Hillary Clinton, okay? So if that didn't make you a little nauseous, this definitely will. Now he's scheduled to have a fundraiser on October 7th with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Michael Bloomberg. Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Michael Bloomberg hosting fundraisers for Andrew Gillum. So, what should Jimmy say? What should I say? Hey, you know what? Ron DeSantis in Florida, and again, I don't live in Florida, so I'm not telling people how to vote. If they want to vote for Gillum, vote for Gillum. If they don't, don't. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz is everything wrong with the Democratic Party. Not just the Democratic Party, but American politics. She cheated the progressive candidate out of the nomination. There's a very good chance it would have been a lot closer or Bernie would have won. So is it toxic for Jimmy or me to say, you know what? I have a hard time supporting someone who's associating with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's corrupt, who's not for Medicare for all, who's not for free public college, who's not for ending private prisons, who's bought up with the sugar industry in Florida, who is not for ending fracking. Like, why is that toxic to say? He's making decisions and he's associating with people that I am against. And my political, not me, because I don't live in Florida, but that Jimmy or I say, I would have a very hard time supporting someone that is associating with corruption, that is talking and giving platitudes that he's for Medicare for all, that he's for free public college tuition, and then surrounding himself with the very people that have helped hoard money to the elite. Don't forget Debbie Wasserman Schultz, huge money from the payday lending industry, which disproportionately screws poor people and minorities in Florida and all over the country. So if Jimmy does this, I don't know if he's going to, but let's say he did a video on it, or I'm doing a video on it right now, and some of my viewers in Florida, I don't tell people how to vote. If you think, I think DeSantis is very bad. I think Gillum would be better than DeSantis. But there is a difference, okay? So when you're looking at your congressman, or if you're looking at your senator, or you're looking at your governor, okay? That's a state-based election, okay? So as far as I could tell, even if I, as a Floridian, am very against Andrew Gillum, moonwalking away from Medicare for all and talking about affordable health care, even if I'm against Andrew Gillum associating with these people, you know what? Andrew Gillum doesn't have the power to create wars. You know, Andrew Gillum is governor of Florida. His decisions don't impact the whole entire country. So my bar for lesser of two evils is way higher as far as the presidential election. I personally, when faced with a Democrat who's a warmonger like Hillary Clinton, who is bought off by every special interest, who has shown nothing in her past that she's for labor unions, has shown nothing in her past that she's actually going to invest money in desperately needed government jobs programs, who has shown nothing that we wouldn't be in a war with Syria or Russia or both, well, I'm personally not going to vote for Hillary Clinton, even if it's someone as bad as Donald Trump. That's just me. On a state level, I'm not going to tell Floridians what to do, but I can say DeSantis is awful, he's racist, he's a bigot, and Gillum would be better than DeSantis, I think. If I was in Florida, I don't know, I'd have to think about it, but I would be more likely to vote for Andrew Gillum in Florida than Hillary Clinton nationally. That's just me. But why is it toxic of me or Jimmy to say, you know what, Gillum, you're fucking up, man. You won the election, you won the nomination by being progressive, by being unabashed as a progressive, and by moonwalking away from Medicare for all, by doing fundraisers with Hillary Clinton, by doing fundraisers with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. You're going to push away your progressive base. Not only is it on a policy basis terrible, on a political strategy, it's terrible. I mean, yeah, you're probably thinking I'm trying to get the old folks or the Democratic establishment that goes with that votes for Debbie and that voted for Hillary. But you're doing that basically at the risk of alienating your progressive base, which is the one that got you the nomination. And by the way, in Florida, I don't know who's consulting Andrew Gillum. Florida has some of the most colleges out of any state in the country. So you are pushing for the college vote, Andrew Gillum. Well, guess what? Those college age students, they don't love Hillary Clinton. I can tell you that. Promise you that. They certainly don't like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And by the way, do you not realize Evan F. Bitt just said it? When you're doing fundraisers with Hillary Clinton, when you're doing fundraisers with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, guess who you are bringing out? The right-wing base that might otherwise be kind of complacent because Trump's not on the ballot in Florida, and maybe they don't like DeSantis that much. Thank you, Gabriel, for the money from Sweden. Love my Swedish friends. So whether it's the attacks on Jimmy Dore or this as an example, you know what? I'm not hedging. I'm just telling you the honest truth. If I lived in Florida, I don't know what I would do. I would probably end up voting for Gilliam anyway, because to me, I'd rather the better choice, even if it's a it's not my ideal choice. I'd rather the less damaging choice on a state level. As president, no, I don't vote that way. I vote for who actually speaks to me. On a state level, I think Gilliam would be better, but I also think it shows that he is not a true progressive. He is a political operative. And he is basically triangulating, as the Clintons did, to basically try and get like older voters and Democratic establishment voters. And if he loses, he better look at his progressive turnout, because he's risking his progressive turnout by doing fundraisers with the two of the most corrupt politicians in this country. Are they going to blame me or Jimmy if Andrew Gillum loses and it shows that his progressive base was deeply, deeply suppressed because he campaigned with the queen bees of the Democratic corrupt machine? Is that our fault if strategically that's what he decided to do? Again, I'm not telling people from Florida not to vote for Andrew Gillum. I think he is better than DeSantis. I have no idea who is consulting him or giving him advice on his campaign, because these are not smart decisions. Doing fundraisers with Hillary Clinton or Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Not exactly small dollar donors you're going to be getting from that. And it's a shame, because he won the nomination, a huge upset, as a progressive on the Medicare for All policy. OTR trucker. I'm paying for you to call them like you see them. I always will. I've had opportunities to be bought off myself and call it like a neoliberal hack, and I have declined. Maybe I'll tell you about those opportunities one day. So that's what I think. I'm not only saying this because I like Jimmy. I'm not only saying this because I think Packman and Cedar and some other folks are, frankly, a little out of touch with how bad it really is out there. I think they're looking at these reports and these numbers that, the unemployment rate is at 3.9%, and, wages are steadily increasing, and they, frankly, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe they do have problems, but by and large, they are doing fairly well. So you get a little detached from what real people are actually going through and how bad it is for the majority out there. The majority cannot afford incremental change. They can't. We need radical change, which isn't even radical. We just need the policies that we used to have before the government was auctioned off. So that's what I think about that. That is what I think about that.